If you are a medical student and you're preparing for your Neet PG exam, this video is for you. I'm Dr. Siddharth Warrior. I'm a neurologist, and in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to share with you 5 tips that I have understood on how to crack your Neet PG exam. So pay attention. Step number 1, preparing your mindset. So you have decided to give your Neet PG exam. Congratulations. Take a deep breath. It's going to be a long year. You will be doing things that you haven't done before. Think of it like war, and you are the general. You will have to strategize. You have to change your strategy depending on how things are going. You have to keep your cool and try and peak at the right time. You will need to keep adapting to the specific challenges that will face you. Now, most of those challenges are common between you and other people, so you can learn from other people's mistakes. Speak to your seniors, speak to other doctors who have gone through this, and try to learn from them. There are some challenges that will be only yours. It could be family, physical, social. Those are challenges that you need to adapt to by yourself. Step number 2, building your base camp. Figure out where you will be studying in your house. Find a room, find a place that you are comfortable with. You'll need a good table, a good chair, and a place which has good light. Do not study in shadow. There is going to be a lot of books, MCQ books, textbooks. Find a place where you can keep them. If possible, get a bookshelf or a separate table where you can keep them. Try to avoid having all your textbooks cluttering up on your main study table. Try to keep your main study table as clutter-free as possible. Only bring in those books that you will be needing for that study session. You will need pens, preferably gel pens. You can use ball pens or ink pens, but then gel pens tend to write faster. You will keep running out of them, so buy them in bulk. Using different colored pens is a good idea and something that I used to do. Different colors will draw your attention to specific points. The same thing goes for markers. Now, I used to use blue and green for headings and subheadings and orange and fluorescent yellow for important points. You can use the same strategy or you can come up with your own, but using the same color for the entire book is generally not a good idea. It can end up just whitewashing or color washing the entire book. The whole point of using marker is so that when you revise, you can quickly bring your eyes to those exact points that you want. A key aspect of your base camp is to get a whiteboard. Designate one wall of your room as the planning wall. This will have a whiteboard, this will have post-its, this will have calendars, everything that can help you plan your year, schedule your study sessions, and help you remember certain points that you keep forgetting. Whiteboards are great for this. You can put up your schedule, you can cross out things that you've already done, you can write down mnemonics and difficult to remember facts so that every time you are walking up and down the room, your eyes will go to the whiteboard and it will click into your brain again and again. That is one way to remember difficult things more easily. Later on, once you start solving MCQ papers, you can keep a track of the number of papers you've solved, what was the score that you got in each paper, and how many papers you have left. Step number 3 is to organize your year. The first half of the year will go in reading all the theory and MCQ papers of all 19 subjects. After that, you will solve the last 10 years Neet PG and All India PG papers. Now, one thing to remember is that whatever you read in your first reading is not going to stick in your memory as much as you would like. So when it comes to the actual exam day, all the things that you remember will be the things that you have revised. So when you're doing your first reading, try not to think of it as preparing for the exam. Instead, think of your first reading as preparing for your revision. The whole point of your first reading is to make your revision quicker and more efficient. The last 1 week before the exam is the most important. All the topics that you read in that last 1 week are the ones you will be most comfortable with. So your entire year is basically preparing for that last 1 week. How can you concise everything into that 1 week of revision? So now let's talk of the actual studying. That is point number 4, preparing your weapons. There are 19 subjects to study and there are many topics inside each subject. Each of those 19 subjects deserves its own notebook. Now, this is something that I realized a few months into my study year. It might seem silly at first, keeping a separate notebook for each and every subject, but then the pages will fill out very quickly and you will be glad that you did it. Now, everybody makes notes differently and that is completely up to you. The way I did it was to create 19 notebooks for 19 subjects, start making notes on each topic from an MCQ book or a textbook, and then every time I come across a new piece of information about that topic, I would go back to that notebook and add that point. Once you develop this habit, you will keep on building on top of your earlier notes and you will keep finding new connections between old topics. One of the challenges of extensive notes is that sometimes it's difficult to find a particular topic in your notebook. So for that, I made an index. Write down the page number in the notebook and make an index of what topic is on what page. It's a little time consuming in the beginning, but it saves you valuable time later on when you're in a hurry and you want to find a particular topic. Another way to save time, and this might seem very small, is to write down the subject name on the side of the notebook, because when you stack up the notebooks, you might find it difficult to see which notebook is for which subject. And if you've written it on the side, you can pick it up more easily. And these are some of the time-saving tricks that can have a bigger impact down the road. When you're solving MCQs from an MCQ book, make sure to write down the answer on the side of the page. Do not tick mark or cross out any option. The reason for this is down the road when you come back to revise that paper, you don't want to automatically see what is the right answer. You still want to go through the process of solving that question and then seeing the answer. Not writing the answer is also not a good idea, because then you will have to keep flipping the page back and forth to see the answer written at the back of the book. And that can save a few seconds for each MCQ. And when we are talking of solving thousands of MCQs, that time adds up. Pay close attention to the wrong options. So in every MCQ, there'll be 1 right and 3 wrong answers. And we usually pay attention only to the right one, but also make sure that you have read something about the wrong options, because it means that that topic is in the radar of the exam setters, and it is very possible that one of those wrong options could be the right answer in your exam. Nowadays, there are newer MCQ platforms like Marrow. Now, this is not something that I have used personally, so I won't be talking about it specifically. So this is the criteria you have to look at when you're deciding what platform to follow, what book to read. Is it going to make you understand better, learn faster, and make revising more efficient? And finally, it's time to train. You have to train hard, you have to train well. You need to take care of your body and your diet. Cognitive fatigue is a real phenomenon, and many students have premature burnout. It is not easy to pay so much attention for so long a time. You have to learn about your own limitations, learn how to pace yourself, and very gradually, gently push your boundaries so that you can improve. Stress is a natural part of this year. You are going to be stressed because stress is a way of your brain telling you that this is important. But at the same time, if you feel that the stress is getting so much that you are not able to study, or it's coming in the way of your own functioning, speak to your parents, and if necessary, speak to a therapist. Now, there are 2 questions that I get asked a lot whenever I discuss Neet PG. One is, should I do group studying? And second is, should I study in the library? Now, group studying is great for a couple of reasons. No 2 people will understand the same topic in the exact same way. They will make different analogies, make different connections, different mnemonics. So hearing how your friend has understood a topic will improve your own understanding of it. Also, discussing a topic with a friend itself becomes a memory that can get triggered when you hear about that topic. Especially if you have an argument over a topic, it is much more likely that you will remember. So group study does help in that way. And that also brings me to the point of competition. Group study can foster a healthy competitive environment, but it can also add to the stress. So you have to remember that while Neet PG can appear to be a competitive exam, it is actually not. The only thing that matters is how well you have understood a topic and how well you can apply it to an exam. And since there is no way for you to control how other people perform, if you think about it, it is actually a single player game. And as cliched as it might sound, your only competition is yourself. The other question I keep getting asked is about going to the library. So it has the kind of atmosphere that helps you focus for a long time. Especially if you are living in a house where there are a lot of distractions, a library is a great option. The disadvantage is that you will have to carry all of your textbooks and all the notes that you think you will need in that study session. And many times what happens is that you may need to refer to another book or make some additional notes in some other notebook that you don't have. So that can be annoying. Digital note taking does solve this problem. So if you want me to make a separate video on how to make notes digitally, let me know. So that is all I have for today. I hope that these tips help you. These are some of the lessons I have learned from my experience on giving these entrance exams. If you like this video, hit the like button, share this with anyone you think will find it useful, medical students, even their parents, and subscribe to the channel to see more such videos. I'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.